Good morning, Year Sixes. We're on lesson 2, 7th of January 2021. It's our second lesson on fractions. So let's just recap our answers from yesterday. We changed thirds and quarters into twelfths to make 7 twelfths. We turned the thirds and the quarters into twelfths again to make 11 twelfths. We turned the thirds and fifths into fifteenths to make 11 fifteenths. This looked tricky, but it's exactly the same. We turned the sixths and the quarters into twelfths, making 11 twelfths. And this final one, we made the quarters and halves into twelfths, making us 11 twelfths. 11 twelfths seems to be the theme of the day for those answers. Good job if you got those correct. If you didn't, go back to yesterday's video, go through it again, resubmit your answers. Twist-its, we had 2 twist-its. Oh, and I've lost part of the writing for that one. This first one here, explain why Colin is incorrect. Colin has added the numerators and the denominators. He went across and he added the 1, add 2 is 3, and the 4, add 5 is 9. He should have converted the fractions into equivalent fractions with the same denominator, then added the numerators. The lowest common denominator he could have used is 20, so we could have made them both into 20ths. On this second one here, explain why he's incorrect. Well, here Colin has found the common multiples of 4 and 5, which is 20, and he's made sure and used that for the denominator answer, but he didn't bother to fully convert them. He didn't change them into proper equivalent fractions, and instead he just added the 3 plus 3 equals 6. So he would need to have done the conversion to find the equivalent fractions to get that correct. And yesterday's solve it answers, there are loads. So here's just the beginning of a few. 1/2 plus 4 twelfths, 2 6 plus 2 quarters, 2 6 plus 4 eighths, and you could have found many, many more. So send those in and we'll check them for you. On to today's lesson then. Let's hook it. What do you notice about these drawings and 2 columns of fractions? First of all, we've got pictures. We've got circles split into different sizes, and in the first column we've got mixed numbers. Now, these are called mixed numbers because they're a mix between a whole number and a fraction. In the second column we've got improper fractions. Yesterday we said that proper fractions had a smaller denominator and a larger numerator. For improper fractions it's the other way round. The denominator is smaller than the numerator. So in our first row here we've got 1 1/2. A whole circle's coloured in plus a half, and we can represent that, show it as a mixed number as 1 1/2, or we can show it as 3 halves. They both have exactly the same value, it's just a different way of writing it. In the second row we've got a whole and 3 quarters, so that's 1 3/4 as a mixed number, or if we count all of those quarters there's 7 quarters in all to make our improper fraction. The third row we've got 2 wholes and 1 quarter, mixed number 2 1/4. As an improper fraction there are 9 quarters altogether. And the final one we've got 2 wholes and 3 eighths, so we could write it as 2 3/8 or 19 eighths. 2 times 8 is 16 plus the extra 3 makes it 19 eighths. We're going to be looking at these mixed numbers and improper fractions in the next couple of lessons. So take a look to remind yourself of what they mean. In today's lesson we're going to be adding mixed numbers and proper fractions together. So we're going to have a mixed number and a proper fraction to make a mixed number, and tomorrow we'll be doing something similar but we'll be making improper fractions instead. Okay, so here's how we work these out. Our first example here, 1 1/5 plus a quarter. So 1 1/5 is our mixed number, 1/4 is our proper fraction. To add them together we need to make them have the same denominator. So if I think about fifths and quarters, the 5 times table and the 4 times table, the first number that comes up in both of those times table is the number 20. So I can make them both into something over 20. So I've got 1/5 is the same as something over 20 and 1/4 is the same as something over 20. If I use my 5 times table, 5, 10, 15, 20, I know that's a times by 4, and whatever I do to the denominator I need to do to the numerator, so I need to multiply them both by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/5 has exactly the same values, exactly the same size as 4/20. Then if we look at the quarters, what do we need to multiply 4 by to make 20? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I multiply it by 5. So if I multiply the bottom number by 5, I need to multiply the top number, ooh, that's wonky, by 5. Pleased to say the work you handed in to me was much tidier than my writing on this machine. 1 times 5 is 5, so 1/4 is the same as 5/20. So now I can add them together. We already know how to do 4/20 add 5/20. That would be 9/20. But what we must not forget here, because it would make a column mistake, hint for later on, we mustn't forget that we've also got this 1 here. So our answer is going to be 1 and 9/20. 1 and 9/20. Trying to keep that nice and clearly. A 1 there is our whole number and 9/20 is our fraction, giving us a mixed number answer. Okay, we're going to do very similar with this next one. We've got 2 and 4/7 plus 1/5 here. So we need to change the 4/7 and the 5ths into the same, so they have the same denominator. So I need to find a number in the 7 times table and the 5 times table. I could write them out again. I could write out my 5s and my 7s and find it. And there's a little cheat that you can use, and you can do 5 times 7 to find that number. And 5 times 7 is 35, so I know my denominator for both of these can be 35. It doesn't always come up with the lowest common denominator, but it always comes up with a common denominator. So I know that 7 times 5 is 35. So I need to do my 4 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, just about in there, to make 20 35ths, and my 1/5, I times that by 7, 5 times 7 is 35, so 1 times 7 is 7. And again, I can easily add up 5 35ths and 7 35ths to make 27 35ths. Again, I don't want to forget that I do still have this one here. I still have a whole one to add on as well. So I've got 2 whole ones and 27. Squeeze it in. 27 35ths. The key here is to remember to add on the whole number as well. Okay, now it's your turn to practice it. So you've got 1.5 plus a third here. Think about what you can convert those into, but don't forget to add on that 1. These, we've got 6 and 5, so think of your common denominator, your lowest common multiple for these. To convert them, don't forget to add on the 3 wholes as well to make your mixed number. Pause the video and have a go. Great job. Let's see if your answers match mine. Oh, she says it's not working for me at the moment. Oh, there we are. Press the right button. So I turned these both into 6. So 1 and 3 6 plus 2 6 gives me 1 and 5 6. I hope you didn't do a column mistake and you still remembered your 1 there. Then we've got the 6th and the 5th turned into 30ths. So 5 30ths and 24 30ths equaling 3 wholes and 29 30ths. Great job. Now it's your turn, your independent learning. You can follow the same pattern for all of these. Pause the video and complete these now. Excellent, great job. Then we've got our twist its and solve it. So Colin thinks that this is the same as this is the same as this. Has he converted it correctly? Has he put the correct answer right at the end? Or has he forgotten to do something? Pause the video, work it out. Excellent, great job. And then we've got our final solve it. find the missing numerators. You can solve this problem in several ways. So think about how many thirds, what they look like as twelfths, quarters look like as twelfths, and if you add them together, what can you put into this final box here? Once you've done that, if you want to challenge yourself further, you can imagine that it's 1 and a third plus so many fifths equals 1 and so many 15ths. You can substitute those numbers in and have a go at that too if you want to challenge yourselves. Once you've completed everything, we will take a picture of your work and upload it onto ClassDojo. If you're stuck on anything, you can always message me via ClassDojo or drop me an email, and I will be going through all of the answers again tomorrow. Have a fabulous day and keep yourself safe.